Kevin Roth here of RotoGrinders, and today we're going to talk about the RG Discord. If you're not a member, you should be. It is a fantastic community and resource that RotoGrinders provides, and it's easy to join as well. All you have to do is click the Discord icon on RotoGrinders or go to rotogrinders.com/Discord. From there, you'll either sign up if you're new to RG, or if you're already a member, just click the link at the top to go to the sign-in page. Once you've logged into your RG account, you can be taken to Discord to log in there. Once you've connected those accounts, you won't have to leave the server. You can freely close out and reopen Discord without ever having to reconnect. The idea of Discord might be a little bit daunting to you, but it's actually pretty simple to navigate. Whether you're on mobile or desktop, the far left side will show you the Discord servers that you've already joined. Then next to that, you'll see the channels within that Discord. We have both free channels like Chiefs Prop Shop and our daily sport channels, and we also have premium channels like Blender's Game Theory or the Crunch Time channels. Premium members can see the difference between the free and premium channels by looking for a padlock icon next to the premium channel names. We also have a few pointers for new and experienced users alike. If you're having trouble finding a channel, make sure that you haven't collapsed the section that the channel is in. Collapsing a channel will only allow it to appear when there are unread messages in that channel. Also, we find that using the actual Discord program works better than opening it in a browser like Safari or Chrome. Lastly, if you're having trouble with one of our tools, your RotoGrinders account, or any other technical needs, you can hop in our feedback and help section of channels to get help from one of our wonderful support and moderation team members. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out on Twitter @RotoGrinders or email support@rotogrinders.com. See you in Discord.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the evening crunch time. If you watch the afternoon crunch time, I am Britt Devine here with my good friends, Mr. Chief, Will Priester. Will, always up in the prop shop in the Discord, free for everybody. If you guys want to, if you're watching on YouTube and you just want to, if you want to prop bet, if you want access to some, not just Chief, but some really, really other smart people for literally free 50. Head to the RotoGrinders Discord, go to Chiefs Prop Shop, and just start taking in all the good bets are in there. What's up, Chief?
Nothing much, man. I'm so glad you plugged that in because, look, while my name may essentially be on the door, you can't do this thing alone. To maximize your winnings, it's going to take a whole lot of people, and so I'm really grateful. In fact, Britt Devine is one of those people too, folks. If you
not today in the prop shop. Well,
not today, but I'm saying generally speaking, Britt will pop in and pop a few lines. Stevie will pop a few lines in there. So I'm really glad and grateful and excited that the shop has become what it's become. I think we started on like a random Saturday morning, kicking it off with some CS:GO, and a few months later.
Listen, I'm playing hot dogs and disc golf tonight.
Right. I think it's one of the best free Discord prop channels around. I think everybody in there will agree, and I'm sure everybody at the company agrees. So thank you guys for your support. Dre, my friend, Britt, everybody. Just appreciate you all supporting the channel.
Yeah, Andre, what's up, dude? Welcome back. I feel like we haven't stopped talking.
Yeah,
from the earlier show.
That's how it feels like, but it's a good feeling. Trying to sweat out some of these sportsbook bets that I have going on right now. A little bit got a little bit things that I'm close to getting. So just need a couple more players to just do what they're supposed to do and great matchups.
Right, we got like 20 minutes. So the two sites, they're different. We're gonna do DraftKings up until lock. Their lock is 6:07. And then we're going to flip over to Fanduel for the 3-game slate, talk about that for a couple of minutes, and get on out of here. So real quick, I guess at the top, does anyone I don't want to play any pitcher tonight in any format. Does anyone have a pitcher they actually want to roster tonight?
Not really. Like,
You got one, Chief?
I'm rostering Josh Winkowski under 85 and a half pitches. To answer your question, it's no. I'm pretty much propping every pitcher tonight. It's ugly, Britt. This is probably the worst slate of the year, I think.
Yeah, there's some good names too. I guess for cash on DraftKings, I'll start with Andre on this one. You like default is sort of like nasty nectar, right? Because he's like even Cleveland. We saw Cole not really get too many strikeouts today, but just sort of by default, he's the best pitcher going up against Cleveland, who doesn't really strike out. But I mean, do you want to play Darvish on the road, which is always a no-no, and then against the Dodgers, right? That's a double no-no. Tyler Anderson, who strikeouts, who have really faltered over his past couple of starts against San Diego. I mean, you might have to play him. Rasmussen against Toronto. I think the bat really hates him, but I don't think he's the worst tournament throw today. And everything else is just, I mean, you're just praying something comes through with the rest of these guys today. I'm on Cortez and then probably Tyler Anderson from the cash side on DraftKings, because I'm not paying Darvish's price today with those two things. The road starts. I mean, it's been a long statistic of his where he's good at home, horrible on the road. It's holding true this year. And you mix in the Dodgers, I don't think I can pay that in today.
I definitely agree with you with that one. It makes it so tough to get away from this guy like that. But in cash, you just have to roll with it. And I think Nestor Cortez is definitely the top play going against Cleveland. Like they have a couple guys there with high strikeouts in there. So I feel confident in that, especially if you're playing on Fanduel. I think that's a perfectly fine guy to roll out there and spend the money for him on there. I think that's on that's like a weird in between slate. Sorry, on FanDuel that they have. Not like
FanDuel's at 7 or at 610. We're not talking FanDuel, right? They're the sponsor, but we'll talk about them later.
It's a habit. Sorry, but yeah. So Darvish would be out for me in cash. I understand, and he's still gonna be fairly somewhat popular, but that's because it's a small slate. But Tyler Anderson would be the second guy we'll go with, especially with DK for those two pitchers at the top.
At least for cash. Chief, I want to throw some tournaments at you, right? Because if you got to really squint, and I don't even know if you can squint. Like this is like you got to put them under a microscope to find something that looks good in a tournament tonight. Have you managed to come up with anything?
Not on the pitching side. I think for me, you just use the guys that you think are going to get you enough. I'll be honest with you. I don't like Alec Mills tonight. I think he's awful. Do I want to pay $5K for him? No. Thomas Hatch. He's probably going to be out there for an inning. Austin Gomber. I don't want to pay $5,700 for him. Dallas Keuchel is $6,400 for whatever reason. I don't want to pay $6,400 for him. I'm just going down the list to strengthen our case here, Brett. I honestly, Brett, I would probably play Aaron Savali today on DK in tournaments and hope he gets us 10 points, and I'll just take it and run.
Against the Yankees too, and the Yankees are going to be popular too. So if he somehow does it, right, you're beating 20% of the field right there.
Yeah, I mean that. Winkowski, maybe, it's like you get that. I don't like any of the top guys. I'm with you. Nestor's probably, I guess we'll call it the safest out of the group. And he's probably got the most upside too, all in all. Darvish has upside, but I don't think he has enough against the Dodgers. And the thing about Nestor, when we've got some of these guys back that are going to give us some Ks again. And like Cleveland's lineup from a strikeout perspective has actually gotten worse with Reyes back.
Mm-hmm.
Like Reyes being back in the lineup actually helps his case to pick up more fantasy points. And then Josh Naylor, who has a fairly low K rate against righties. Against lefties, he's at 31%. Like Nestor's probably the guy, like period. And you just go from there.
Yeah, Nestor if somehow Nestor doesn't come through and you're not playing him, then I mean, I guess pitching to me isn't going to be the thing that wins you a tournament on the slate. It seems like it's going to be getting the correct bats, the correct stack, the right one-off and something like that. I think that's where I'm focusing my attention on today. So with that said, Chief, Coors is on the slate with a massive total. I know you don't like playing Coors
I hate it.
in tournaments when they're chalky. And guess what? You can get all these guys in your lineup today. What do you think of them? Do you like another offense better than them if you're trying to maybe swerve away from the crowd?
I think if I'm swerving away from Coors, I'm just going to go to the not the Dodgers, excuse me. I'm just going to go to the Red Sox, try to attack Mills, and see what happens. Go to the Yankees, try to attack Savali. I know I talked about playing Savali, but I mean, man, I've just seen it so many times with Coors. You go in and you're like, oh yeah, man, this is the nut spot. And Dallas Keuchel goes out there and gets 5 strikeouts. And 5 is a lot for Dallas Keuchel, which is why I'm saying 5. He goes out and gets 5, gives up 2 runs, goes 5 innings. Austin Gomber goes up there and has the game of a lifetime. And you're like, what? So I just typically X Coors off the list. If it beats me, it beats me. I'll come back tomorrow. I just think from an ROI perspective, I'm going to make a lot more money not playing Coors. However, Britt, Dallas Keuchel is like all-time bad. Like
he's a strikeout pitcher now. Did you see that in his minor league rehab in his last start?
You mean he got 7 strikeouts against Detroit? Wow. I mean, you know what, Britt? You sold me, man.
No, I didn't tell you. You're not getting anyone to tell me I sold you on Dallas Keuchel tonight. No chance.
I'm just kidding.
Let's get that out there.
Kidding. But yeah, man, it's Dallas Keuchel. I mean, CJ Cron, these guys, they got to be in play, right? They have to be in play.
Andre, what do you think tournament landscape, at least for offense? We'll do some quick position by position. What are we looking at tonight?
Tournament wise, I agree. I would go personally heavy on the Dodgers and heavy on New York today. And Boston as well, and Chicago. Those are the 3 teams I would just try to get 4 teams I would try to get more exposure to today than the Coors game. I know Keuchel is horrible and he's bad, but I'm going to try to stick away from those games. I'm stick away from that game, or use that more towards a secondary stack and use the other teams that I mentioned before as a more of a primary stack, just so I can get different and get ahead of the field.
If anyone has DraftKings specific questions, you can throw them in the Discord, throw them into YouTube. I'll try to get to them as we basically rocket through positional as we close out the show here, at least the DraftKings portion of this show. So Andre, real quick, catcher, I'm waiting on the Arizona lineup, because if Carson Kelly's in there, I'm probably playing him on DK. Let's pretend he's not in there, who do we be using?
Carson Kelly is not in there. Next person I think would become popular would be Wilson Contreras, probably next guy up, or a guy like probably Will Smith against Darvish. That's the 2 guys I would see probably going the most popular one.
Chief, what are you looking at? I think Kirk in tournaments makes a little bit of sense. Dude's been mashing home runs. Probably won't have too high of an ownership out there tonight.
Yeah, Alejandro Kirk's been my boy this season, just from a fantasy perspective. And with today's pitching situation, you can probably get him in at 5K. Take the points and run. I mean, you're probably overpaying a little bit, considering the slate. I'm with you if Kelly's catching. I mean, he's at 2K. He's the guy. I don't think you have to overthink that at all. I mean, how do we feel about Servin? Against Keuchel at 36, he's probably going to pick up some ownership. I'm not looking at ownership currently, but he's probably going to pick up some. I think Austin Nola is in play against Anderson at 4K. That will probably be my group. I'm not sure how much Wilson Contreras I get to today, unless it's like a last piece. But those handful of names, I think those are the guys for me.
Yeah, let's hope we get that Arizona lineup, because all these other games lock at 7:15. And if you play him on DK, you might legit have to take a 0 at the catcher spot if you're rolling off there today. So just keep that in mind. First base to me, if you have money at CJ Cron, he's the preferred option. If you got to save a couple bucks, Andre, you got Christian Walker, and you call it a day.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Another guy that maybe want to throw in there since we have Hatch pitching is Isaac Paredes, who's been hitting the ball phenomenally lately.
Yeah, how is he? It's literally a home run every single game. Go hit the home run prop on that one. That's probably a good one to hit if you're on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Speaking of which, they are the sponsor of the show. If you are new and you have the availability to bet on FanDuel, go check them out. You get a risk-free up to $1,000 bet. Make sure to take advantage of that. Second base. Oh, actually, wait. First base. Let's go to Chief and tournaments on DraftKings. I mean, you've got the Coors game, but there's a lot of dudes. You know, you got Biggio leading off. You've got Voit against the lefty, Rizzo against Savali, Vlad and Freeman. No one's really going to pay up for. I mean, you can get funky at first base in a tournament today.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely Biggio. Like, do I feel like Vlad is probably the better play? Yeah, especially I keep bringing up the pitching situation because I'm not really spending up double per se. Like, I can get Vlad if I want. I can get Freeman if I want. I do think it's an interesting concept to not play Vlad tonight. Hear what I'm saying? Not what I'm not saying. And just play Biggio at first at 3,100. Because if most people are stacking Toronto, they're going to do it with Vlad. And I'm not saying, hey, you need to play Vlad. I'm saying, hey, you know, on a small slate with the Toronto stack, without Vlad, that would be incredibly different. Like, you could run Biggio, Bichette, and then instead of playing Vlad, you spend up for Kirk. And so now you've got a totally slightly different lineup construction. If Kirk in the game hits all the home runs and Vlad is just like a single RBI candidate, then you've got, you know, really good leverage, I think, with the Blue Jays. So I'm not telling anyone to fade Vlad. I'm just giving you an idea how to be different. Because you can play Biggio at second, most people are just going to play him at second and play Vlad at first, where you could just play him at first, not play Vlad at all, spin up on Kirk, and now you've got a totally different construction.
Chief, we got a question in YouTube from Derek. What stack's going to be more popular today, Boston or Arizona?
Gotta be Arizona and Coors, I think.
Yeah, I would lean that way as well. Let's go to second base on DK. What are you looking at today? There's another Arizona guy. If we get Kennedy hitting fifth, like our projected lineup, you know, he's 2K. We just got these cheap guys, but we might end up taking zeros on these if they don't end up in the lineup, Andre.
Yeah, definitely. So, if you know Kennedy, if he's not in there, we obviously got a guy like Ketel Marte, who I think will still be popular. I think you can still roster him too today, as well as a guy Brendan Rodgers for cash.
What about in tournaments, Chief?
Espinal, the bottom of this Toronto lineup, he's 3,400. I talked about Biggio already. You can get him at second as well. You got Taylor Walls down here. You can play at second or shortstop. I think the tournament play is Muncy, man, at 4,600. Like, I just don't see people having extreme interest. It seems like, at least on the surface, he hasn't been as good as usual. Facing probably the most name value on the slate is Yu Darvish. I just feel like his ownership is going to come in a lot lower than everyone else. I think my favorite is probably Trevor Story, but Max Muncy for tournaments against you is really, really tasty.
Yeah, Muncy's finally breaking out of his season-long slump over these past couple of games too. We got a question too in Discord. A Cub stack. The wind is basically maybe in slightly, but it's got a big total. You think you play the Cubs today to get a little different? You think they can do it tonight, Will?
I mean, I don't hate it. Like, I'm not a believer in Josh Winkowski like right now. So I don't mind that at all. And I've been telling people that in the prop shop or maybe just in general, like the Cubs K rates aren't as low as they were to start the season. Like when you look right now, Ortega 22, Contreras 19, Hap 18. Now Patrick, Patty in the brain, his K rate's going to stay high the whole season. But overall as a lineup, I mean, these guys, the K rates have really come down. So I don't mind a Cub stack against Winkowski at all.
Yeah, Hap's been his average very nice at home this season compared to on the road. So I always like him when he's at home.
Oh, and if you like Hap, Brett, you need to get on these fantasy points. I mean, he's at 6.5 on prize. I mean, that's incredible.
I like that. Go take it.
Yeah.
When is that? 7:15. I'll have to.
Oh yeah, I was looking at it already anyway.
Yeah.
Now I'm just adding that to my 5 flex. Gonna call it a day.
I'm holding on to my 5K. I'm waiting until I have something really good, a couple of them, and I'm gonna unleash that from the promotion. So I'm just keeping that as my
my hold it as long as you can, bro. As long as you can.
Real quick, Andre. We only got a couple minutes till DK lock. Some other players I'm targeting in cash. Third base, you have some money. I like Devers, probably a guy you want to prioritize tonight. If you want a couple stolen bases, you can take Trey Turner. You can play Bogarts as well if you need to save a couple of bucks, someone I'm looking at. You got Chris Bryant in the outfield. Aaron Judge should be a priority spend as well. And then you've got Luplow, should he make the lineup. If this lineup comes out weird for Arizona tonight on DraftKings, I'm going to be taking maybe some zeros. If I don't get this by like 7 o'clock, I would imagine I will. I might have to rearrange my lineup some. But if Luplow's in the lineup, 2,300, how do you not play that? Those are some of the guys I'm looking at in cash. Will, are there any priority tournament bats across the rest of the positions you wanted to stress before we sort of have to close up DraftKings?
Not really. I mean, everybody to me, even most slates, I'm always looking to kind of complete stacks, and a stack for me isn't necessarily 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a lot of times it's, hey, who looks really good today against this pitcher for 5 or 6 innings, and if we get the wraparound. So that's where I'm at. I don't see anyone that's like, I have to play them. So I'm good.
Yeah, I took the Stanton home run prop in the game 1. And I don't have it for game 2, so he is definitely going to hit a home run if you want that on your
Oh, for sure.
So make sure to get that. I mentioned Hap. I like him at home. And then just the usual suspects, Coors, Yankees, a couple of those guys I think we want to prioritize. So we're basically at DraftKings lock. I'm going to switch over to maybe some FanDuel talk unless some of you guys, the Arizona lineup is out. Let me see if I can find this. So it's Luplow, Hummel, Marte, Walker, Kennedy. Kelly's hitting 6th. Thomas, Perdomo, Hager. So this is a really crappy lineup. I took them as a money line pick. This is not the lineup I was expecting them to throw out here. Chief, real quick. So Luplow made it. Marte and Walker, the big guys we were looking for. Kennedy's in there hitting cleanup. Kelly's in there. 6th, 7th. Or Kennedy's hitting 5th. Anything you want to do here with that lineup?
Hold on. I'm trying to get there. Kennedy.
Almost 2,900. Luplow didn't make it. So you got to get him. Oh no, Luplow is in there. Luplow's hitting leadoff. So you want to play him. You want to play Marte, Walker. You've got Kelly in there. And you've got Kennedy. Man, I mean, all the guys I was looking to play made the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, God, Britt, if I'm going to do that, okay, here's what I think I'd do tonight, Britt. If I'm stacking the Diamondbacks,
they got 2 minutes till the Yankee game starts. That's another.
I'm saying I may be leaving plenty on the table.
Oh yeah.
Like instead of trying to max out, just play them and say, all right, I'm going to leave 4,000 on the table today and just roll it. You know what I mean? Because I don't have enough money to spend anyway if I'm stacking them. Lupelow's 23, Marte's 53, Walker's 4K, but I mean everybody else is 2 and 3K. Like.
Yeah, so don't play like because you can get all these cheap Arizona bats in with Aaron Judge and Devers and any 2 pitchers you want. So basically don't do that, right? Instead of Judge, play Stanton. Instead of Anderson, play, I don't know, someone else at pitcher, right? And just try to be a little different that way. That makes sense.
Yep.
All right. So there's a little quick tip from the Chief. We're going to go over to FanDuel, the sponsor of our show. Before we get to that, just make sure if you guys, right, you hear Chief, you hear me, you hear Andre, Chief does all the props. Me and Andre do that along with having access to sports books. If you want to know which sports book always has the best odds. If you're in one of those states, like in New York here, right? I have access to 8 sports books and I want to play a money line on the Dodgers tonight, for example. I can go to Scores and Odds, and for free, I can see which book has the best line, and then I can just go to that book and do it all through Scores and Odds for free. Great thing to do if you want all the picks behind the scenes from Grant, from Will, from Andre, from Keith, from Luch. You can get access to all those via subscription if you really want to get some top-notch picks. But Scores and Odds is great. Make sure to go check it out. All right, FanDuel 3-game slate. Andre, I thought pitching was bad on the 5-game slate. It's a 3-game slate. So it really boils down to, you and Anderson. And I just don't feel like I need to pay this price. Darvish does not deserve to be the highest priced pitcher on a little 3-game slate. I don't really like any pitcher. Maybe it's Tyler Anderson just because he gives me the money. FanDuel's a little tougher, right? Some of the Arizona bats are a little more expensive. So you have to spend some money over there today. Anderson allowed me to do that. I'm rolling with him just to get max Coors exposure tonight.
I would definitely do the same thing. Just play a lot of Tyler Anderson. Maybe a little bit of Josh Winkowski. I know he's not popular, but he's not where he probably. But he's a high prospect for Boston, I believe. But I think we can still play him on the site because what if Tyler Anderson only gets you like 30, and Josh also gets you 30? You can save you save about $800 and be able to get whoever else you want, but you can do the same, and also you're different in tournaments by that much too. So leverage wise,
none of these pitchers are projected to pick up. In fact, Tyler Anderson in RotoGrinders projections is projected better than you, Darvish, anyway.
Yo, yeah, but the ownership I'm talking about, like ownership play, like 40%, like it says 40% right now, but even on a smaller slate, it's probably going to be. I can see that ownership being like 70%. A lot less.
I get it.
So that's why I would play Josh a little bit against Chicago. Just hope that he can get some strikeouts, and match what Anderson does. Just to be different, try to win a tournament. But Tyler Anderson is my number one. Is obviously the number 1 pitcher.
Well, here we go, folks. I'm gonna tell you right now. Aaron Savali better start out the night hot. And by hot, I mean he better throw more than 14 and a half pitches.
That's not hot. That's the opposite. You want cold.
I know. I mean hot for
hot for your prop, but cold in real life.
Yeah. Man.
What about like offense? This 3-game slate on FanDuel, right? It starts at 7:15. Chief for tournaments. You got the Dodgers and Padres, Boston, Coors, right? So it's going to be all Coors. Like you can get Coors stacks, right? You can probably even get full Coors stacks of both teams with, a pitcher that you might like. Maybe not relatively easily, but you can make something work if you try hard. You got Boston. I mean, it's all going there. Would you even like a 3-game slate? Will we're not forcing you. We don't have a gun to your head to play this on FanDuel tonight. 3-game slate. Would you still fade Coors?
I don't think I can do it. That's like an exception. Like I don't think I can do it. Geez. Oh.
Right, like
and I still would try. That's how crazy this is. I would still try to do it.
Well, you can play. Boston's going to have like not a ton of ownership on. Everyone's going to be playing Coors on FanDuel.
Looks like I'm getting bad Yankees today.
Oh,
is he just 4 pitch out? The Aaron Judge 1 pitch out.
Just dicing up your Yankees.
No, he's just swinging away. if Anthony Rizzo can push him to 11 pitches, I might have a shot.
Oh, Rizzo likes to hit those home runs now. Rizzo's having a nice little season for the Yankees so far.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I need you to work him a little bit,
Couple pitches, then hit the home run. I see what you're doing. So like at least I guess I can give a hypothesis of cash on FanDuel, and we'll see if Andre maybe agrees with me, right? But I've got like a couple of guys, right? I think you really should play over there from the cash side. Muncy's 2,600. We talked about him on DK, but at 2,600, and he's finally, I think, getting over his injury or whatever he had at the start of the season. He's looking pretty good lately. I think you got to play him. You got like Chris Bryant's 3,400. I think he's almost a must play against Keuchel tonight. You've got a couple other cores guys, Walker, Luplow, Marte, fit those in. Couple other high price bats. You're probably on your way to a good cash lineup. Is there any other specific player like I want to play? I was really trying to get CJ Cron in there, Andre, and I just could not figure out how to get that extra $1,000. I mean, you got the consolation prize in Christian Walker, so I'm okay with that. But other than that, I don't know. Seems pretty straightforward on FanDuel tonight.
Yeah, I think it is very straightforward. I love the Muncie play. I do love that play a lot too. I don't know how popular it's going to be. I know we have him like projected for like low ownership, but if it was flipped, then like with him and Kettle or him and Rogers, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I love the play. I love everyone that you mentioned. I think they're all great for cash, and I would ride with them.
Chief, if you had to pick a couple tournament bats, right? So I'm using I've got access to the bat, right? So I have like the bat ownership. I don't know what you use for ownership, all right? Like Muncie's coming in at 20%. If I'm just looking at some guys who might be a little low owned, at least according like Trevor Story, right? You like Boston, 20% ownership on a 3-game slate because everyone's is that yeah, right? Ian Happ, who I certainly like tonight, he's coming in about 20%. Something just happened. Oh, they removed a couple guys from projection. So it's doing some math behind the scenes. I think I got caught up in it. But yeah, Boston's going to be a little bit low owned. I know the guy talked about Chicago. I think you can, play some certain guys from there. Bellinger looks pretty good. He's, had all those strikeout problems. He still has
starting out rough.
Yeah, but
Savali, 2 strikeouts through the first 12 pitches.
Oh, you just missed your pitches.
Well, no, listen, I know how this goes, right? And it doesn't bother me. Like some people are like, why don't you just stop doing the first inning? I'm like, look, man, I make good money on the first inning stuff. Here's the thing. You need everybody to do their part. So LeMahieu did his part. He worked him for like 4 or 5 pitches.
Judge.
Then you need Judge to do his part, working for 4 or 5, and one guy to work him for like 7. Which was Anthony Rizzo. However, Judge had a 1 pitch out. Like, I can't.
You need that to be that to be a hit, not an out.
Yeah. Or I need him to and if I'm holding up our analysis here, please. But I don't know why major league batters don't just take the first pitch all the time. Like, just take it. Like, let it come on down the pipe. Who knows? A lot of times those guys throw balls anyway. The first pitch, but anyway, I digress.
It can be doing the props, a strikeout in the first inning, all these things. It does get hectic, but I know you put the research in. I do a lot for those first inning or 2 innings on strikeouts, and those are when those are available. Those are some pretty nice props to be able to ring the cash register on.
Oh yeah.
I'm just scrolling through the ownership. Wilson Contreras, right? No one's going to use that dude on FanDuel tonight. He's having a monster season, 8% ownership, right? He's a catcher. No one even looks at a catcher on FanDuel on a 3-game slate when we've got cores, right? So like, I think he's pretty interesting from a tournament. You've got Machado, right? Like he's ultra low owned because no one's paying up for him. These are probably a couple of guys I might look at in tournaments tonight, at least on FanDuel, will to get a little bit different.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Freddie Freeman, 10%.
I like Freddie. I like Freddie anyway. Machado being back is definitely going to help bolster the top of this lineup. Maybe Luke Voigt will start hitting better because somebody else is hitting better in front of him. Who knows? But I'm with you. Like Freddie is always on my list on a slate like this where he's facing a good pitcher and everybody wants to gravitate to this one game, which is Coors. I'm still going to say once again though, I really do like Boston today as like an alternate to all of the Coors bats. They could absolutely get to Mills. So
yeah, you said Voigt too. It looks like he's going to be like sub 5% owned, right? For a guy, man, if he hits the home run and you got him, and like if Walker or Cron falter a little bit, don't hit the home run. I mean, that could be like a massive edge, and all it takes from him is like one swing of the bat, and he's cheap on FanDuel today. So
yeah,
I don't know. maybe it's a little more interesting than I thought it was at first glance for a 3-game. The cash game, probably not, but for tournaments, I think there's a couple of things you could do. I'm just trying to find a couple of questions. Let's see. Don't really see too many. There are some nice quotes in the YouTube chat from something. If Devin was here, he would take care of it. I'm not able to go take care of those. The Discord, there's not too much there. Guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. Well, we can go jamming some more props, whether it's Fanduel or somewhere else. We'll go do some of that. We'll check out scores and odds and have ourselves a good night. How's that sound?
Hey, I'm in.
Andre, how's all your big parlays going? Is it still live or not? No, it's over. You've been quiet. You've been quiet, my man. So I figured it wasn't going too well.
Yeah, these guys just can't get like Bobby Witt can't get a hit. I had who was that? Contreras got out. I just don't get it. These hitters are in good matchups against horrible pitchers, and you can't get a single hit.
Have you seen Kyle Hendricks lately?
Yes.
He keeps throwing strike. All of a sudden, he can strike everybody out. It's insane.
Yep. It's crazy. So it's just been one of those. It has been one of those days, but tomorrow I think I'll bounce back and make all my money back that I lost today.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button on your way out on YouTube. Andre, it's been fun doing both shows with you. Chief, always a pleasure working with you, my man. Other than that, guys, enjoy yourself. Have a good evening, weekend, July 4th. Don't shoot any fireworks at yourself and do anything. I know some of you will, but try not to hurt yourself on July 4th. Some of us have new babies. Some of us have dogs, and we don't like those fireworks going off anymore as much as I used to like them a long time ago. So have a good time out there and enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching. We out, Jeff.